Well, time for some more Combiner Wars legends. This time, both figures are part of the Prime Wars Trilogy Minibot Redux, presenting Huffer and Warpath, both redecos and remolds of previous legends. And if you know which ones, then you can probably guess why I've paired these two. Huffer is a recolor and retool of Thrilling 30 Legends Optimus Prime. That figure was based on Don Figueroa's design for the IDW comics. Considering it's a small mold that turns into a truck, it's no surprise that they reused it for Huffer, if no less disappointing. While G1 Huffer was a terminal tractor with a slanted windscreen, in Combiner Wars, he's IDW Optimus in orange, albeit with some silver and blue to break it up. It's a flat-nosed cab-over, though unlike Prime from the G1 cartoon or toy line, the IDW design sports an air dam. The feet don't fold away, and the rear relies more on joint friction for stability, but it's nowhere near the dumpster fire that is Classics Deluxe Prime's alt mode. On its own, the truck is well detailed, including the windscreen wipers, grille, headlights, and fuel tanks, all painted silver weirdly. Huffer comes with the same blaster as Prime, which in vehicle mode can peg onto the roof. Likewise, the robot is Optimus in Huffer's deco. I mean, credit for the new head, which is more than can be said for Pipes. It's well sculpted and fairly accurate, as is the color scheme for the most part. Silver forearms, blue body, orange lower legs, even the Autobot symbol is tampoed on the center of his chest. Sadly, outside of that, this design just doesn't work for Huffer. The whole cab windows forming the chest? Yeah, that's Prime shtick. Also, I know Huffer's one of the stronger Autobots, but here, he retains Prime's broad-chested, powerful physique, whereas Huffer typically has more of an average build. Without that context, the figure looks fine, I guess. But I'm sorry, it's just hard to unsee this mold as Optimus Prime. Articulation-wise, the head is on a swivel, while the shoulders, elbows, hips, and knees are ball-jointed. The air dam halves are hinged and can open up, allowing the arms to fully splay out, even if it does look cumbersome. If you want to count these as articulation and not just for the transformation, the shoulders swing back and forth on the swivels connecting them to the chest, his head can look down, and he has an ab crunch. Warpath is redecoed and retooled from Thrilling 30 Legends Megatron. Once again, the vehicle is why the mold was reused for the appropriate minibot. As Megatron, the sculpt is based on the Big Bad's pre-war mining days in IDW. However, G1 Megatron has had a wider variety of alt modes, transformations, and designs over the years, so it's not as obvious as to who this was originally. That said, the tank mode has problems of its own. Like Warpath himself, the fists are anything but subtle, even if they were colored like the rest of the turret. At least the feet could pass for armored plating. Second, the turret holds together poorly via the one post on the gun barrel and nothing else. As for positives, the turret turns a full 360 and can pivot up and down. The maroon and grey deco fits the character, with some nice gunmetal grey paint here and there. And there's plenty of sculpted detail to go around, like the tank hatch. Though he lacks accessories, the port on the turret is compatible with Huffer's blaster and presumably other weapons with a 5mm post. And as with most tank formers, instead of the treads themselves, you have 4 small wheels for him to roll. I actually really like this mold's transformation. The entire hull? That's all in his lower legs, and unlike certain tank formers where the turret splits into limbs, the turret itself can still rotate. The grey fists and feet, while distracting in alt mode, help to give the robot mode deco more variety, as does the gold paint on his abdomen. Also, the new noggin is undeniably Warpath, though it's kind of a pinhead compared to his bulky limbs. Like I said before, the mold isn't as recognizable as Megatron outside of the arm cannon, and unlike Prime vs. Huffer, the proportions suit both characters. Still, it's a shame Warpath doesn't sport his iconic chest cannon, not even a tiny gun barrel. To be fair, it'd be hard to work one in, given how the arms fold up over the chest during the transformation, and it would likely warp or break off. And hey, at least Warpath has a cannon. It's on a ball joint, so you can rotate it beside the arm when not in use. The rest of his articulation consists of a head swivel, ball-jointed shoulders, elbows, and hips, hinged knees with a 90-degree bend, and, I guess, pinned feet. To me, Combiner Wars Huffer and Warpath fall in the camp of decent transforming action figures, but not the best representations of the characters. I know some have criticized Siege and Earthrise for being too slavish to the source material, instead of trying anything new, but there's a difference between that and reusing molds so blatantly designed for other bots that it's distracting. Both Autobots have been announced for the upcoming Kingdom range, but even in terms of mass retail, Warpath has shown up in Universe 2 and the original run of Generations, both of which capture the spirit of the character much better in my opinion. On their own merits, I still give both of these figures a silver, but you could do better when it comes to Prime Wars Trilogy minibots.